from the Grand Connection, and we're meeting today with one of our members, Julianne, and we're going to find out about her launch of Casa de Influencia. I hope I'm saying that right. Julianne is the founder of Influence Publishing. Many of you know her and has published over 200 books in the last 12 years. That's a lot of books. She's a
It
TEDx
is.
speaker and is now launching House or Casa de Influencia of Influence, where I'm translating here, where she is providing a co-creation space in beautiful Puerto Vallarta. And influencers can create content to get their message of service out to the world. So I've actually been there at the start, so we can talk a little bit about that later because I go to Puerto Vallarta quite a bit. And I was driving home from the interior of BC last week, like 3 days ago, and listening to your podcast, Life of
Aw.
Collective Purpose. And it popped on, you know how the podcast just kind of roll through them. And then I heard like, what's going on, and you have this opportunity for people to come and experience it in a pilot version of it. So I was super
Yes.
excited. I really want to share this with our community. And, this is the power of collaboration. I stopped to charge my car. I'm in there. I'm listening to her podcast. I text her on Facebook. She answers back. I said, do you want to do a live stream? And then I also told her about my podcasters group meeting, which was just a couple of hours earlier. Lovely of you to share so many, invite so many people to it. So as members of the Grand Connection, we are about collaborating. And this is one of the ways we help promote each other and we give opportunities to all of us. And I know, Julianne, you give so many grand opportunities to your community. And I want you to share with us a little bit about what this opportunity is right now.
Oh, thank you so much, Susan. And that's so lovely to hear that you were listening to my podcast show. And like you said, then you jumped on, and then I shared a whole bunch of things this morning to my friends. And it truly is the power of collaboration. And I love it when this actually happens in this way. And that is really why I started Casa de Influencia. It is Spanish for the house of influence, and it was created so that we could actually create together. I think not just Puerto Vallarta, but in many places, people want to come to a space that is a high vibration space, that it is actually created for creativity. So this whole environment, I am creating it to make it a very creative space, so that the minute you kind of step off the plane, you're stepping into this high vibrational, cultural, immersive experience where you immediately want to create and you're inspired and motivated to create. And the reason why I'm calling it the House of Influence is because I want to be attracting influencers, those people that truly, authentically want to see change in the world. And they want to do that by creating their content, whether it's in a book or an audio book or a video series, or it's poetry, or it's dance, or it's art. There's so many ways that we can actually share our stories. And whereas before I was always known as a book publisher, now I'm saying, okay, this is a space where not only you can create a book, but you can create your content in multiple ways. And the place is right in the middle of Old Town of Puerto Vallarta, right in the art district. And as you know, Susan, because you've been here, it's just such a beautiful place, Puerto Vallarta and Old Town.
Oh, it's a gorgeous location you have found, and the energy is pretty amazing. Can you give us some tips on you just talked about this enhancing creativity, and I know that you work with people and help them write books, and and you're going to have going to have a studio there for doing podcasting there as well too, right? So
Yes.
how, as a person who sometimes you get in a little bit of a funk, right? You're not
Yes.
quite, if we want to get creative, what can we do?
Right.
To enhance.
That's awesome. One of the things that you really need to do to get creative is to actually unplug from your normal day-to-day activities, because we are so busy that we don't give our heart space, our soul, the opportunity to actually be creative, because our mind is so busy being busy. So we're not actually giving it the time to kind of slow down get quiet so that you can actually reflect. And I think that's another part of the collaboration part, is that, you know, it's difficult for us to get creative by ourselves. We can be way more creative, particularly a bunch of women, when they get together and they start masterminding, and they start collaborating and sharing ideas, and one idea leads to another idea, and then it's one person wants to collaborate with the other person. And I think it's just really magic happens when women get together and unplug in this environment where magic can happen.
I can feel it. I can just talking to you. I can feel it. I'm actually imagining myself on your deck there up at the top, looking over the ocean. You know, something about being somewhere different than, you know, sitting in. I'm
Yes.
right now in my normal regular office with, you know, it's just I'm not as creative here, but I often get creative when I'm driving. That's when I drive through the
Yes.
mountains, and then I'll be like, you can't write things down when you're driving, right? So I'll be like, you know, calling Carolyn on the touchless phone, right? And say, I've got this great idea, you know, because I want to get it down right away, right? Well, it's fresh.
Yes.
And
It's also to do with, culturally how you're being engaged, because, you know, we are, we get used to our environment that we're seeing every day. And so when you're suddenly in this new environment with bright colors and smiling faces and wonderful Mexican music and all the things, the beach, the ocean, Spanish guitar music, all those things that really inspire you, because your creativity is it comes from being inspired by other creativity. So creativity gives birth to creativity. So if you are surrounding yourself in a creative environment with art and music and culture and amazing, beautiful decoration and a fantastic people, that's going to help make you feel creative.
And another thing about Puerto Vallarta is very international. And I know I did my
Mm.
one of my yoga trainings down there, and there were people from all over the world in our class. So when we come to your retreat, I expect that there will be people from all over the world, which gives you a wider variation of ideas, right?
Absolutely. And, you know, it's interesting you should say that, because I was talking to one of our authors, Jennifer Nagel, the other day, and she just realized, oh my goodness, there's so many more people that can actually travel to Mexico that have restrictions for travel elsewhere. And that's not just because of, some of the other travel restrictions we have right now, but some other countries like China, for example. The Chinese people are very restricted where they can get entry. And so Mexico is, it's a holiday destination. A lot of people that can't get access to other countries like America, for example, which have very sort of strict immigration guidelines, they can come to Mexico. Everybody's welcome in Mexico.
Oh, and it's a lovely place to be. So share what this opportunity is, because I know it's a fabulous deal for people, and it includes you're trying out your new chef, right?
Yes, I am. So what we're looking for is people that are curious about Casa de Influencia. You're maybe looking for a destination for your retreats or your workshops or your conferences or your meetings. And what we want to do is give you an opportunity to be able to come here and experience it, and at the same time give us feedback. So we're basically using you a little bit like guinea pigs, and we're going to try out our new chef. And we're going to take you on our, 1-day boat trip that we're recommending to people. We're going to take you to our Broadway brunch experience, which you have experienced also, Susan. You've been there and experienced that. We'll experience some of the traditional music of Puerto Vallarta, like, for example, Spanish guitars. And of course, we will be having a salsa party on the rooftop. with a live Cuban band with salsa lessons as well. So we're really looking for people that want to experience like the whole Puerto Vallarta experience, but also experience Casa de Influencia, and without, spending a fortune, because really I'm doing this for my own selfish reasons, which is to use you as guinea pigs and to get feedback from everybody, so that when we launch officially at the beginning of November, we've ironed out any little problems that might have popped up with this first pre-launch retreat. So I'm basically saying it's 7 nights. We will be trying out our sort of standard itinerary with you, with some of the events that we're doing to introduce people to. And 2 hours a day, we will have a mastermind so that we can collaborate and connect with one another. And I'll also be doing a start your book mini workshop, so that for those people that are interested in what would it look like to start a book, we can also I can also give you some of that information. So it really is an opportunity to try us out. September 21st to the 28th, 7 nights, for only the crazy price of $795. $795 is basically to cover my expenses in terms of the food, and the accommodation, etc. But we would be asking you to pay for the extra excursions, things like the boat trip, for example. So so there it
And
is.
that's
It's an
including the
opportunity
food,
to
right?
try us out.
So
Sorry.
that's the food and the accommodations, which is very good value.
Yes,
But
because
what
we
I
have
love
a
about it,
new chef.
and what I love about it, is that the people that are coming are all people who will be great collaborative partners for you. So these are people looking at possibly putting on their own training workshops, retreats, and are authors, or starting authors, so, and podcasters. So if this might be a fit for you, it's a great way to go and experience a little bit of a break, get some creativity, and also meet some fabulous people. And I know I've been there already, Julianne, and I've met, many of your community. And I, this is why I said I need to tell people about this, because it's a great opportunity. And tell us, can men come as well?
Of course, all of our accommodation actually is designed so that people are encouraged to bring their partners and their family. Michelle is coming to our first retreat. She's doing a podcast retreat here. And she said to me, Julie, can I bring my kids? I'm like, wow, of course you can. Like every teacher has their own apartment with 2 bedrooms, and so you have a completely self-contained space. So bring the family, right? Why come working when you can have a working holiday with your family as well? So it's something that when I designed this center, I was like, as a facilitator teacher myself, it's the one thing that I could never find when I rented a place for my own retreats, was why the teacher needs their own space. The facilitator needs their own private space. And if they can bring their family as well, or teacher's assistants, or whatever it is that they want to bring with them, that makes everything so much different when you've actually got your own space within that teaching environment. So so that's what we're doing, is creating that environment. So yes, if you want to come along to the retreat and you want to bring your partner with you too, absolutely, you can do that.
So where can people get in touch with you?
Well, the best way to get hold of me, I think, is on Facebook. Facebook, I am Julie Ann, or through my website, which is influencepublishing.com. And we do have a page that gives some information about Casa de Influencia. And that is on influencepublishing.com/writers in residence.
Awesome. Well, the links are below. We're just saying it again in case it for some reason cuts off on Twitter. I think it cuts the link off. So this is going out to many different channels. I want to thank you, Julianne, for jumping on last minute, and for all of the collaborations that you have helped support the Grand Connection. Members, connect with Julianne in the hub. And also, if you're not yet a member, come to some of our events. We have a lot of events on this summer. This month, the theme is on business financial literacy. So it's all about knowing those numbers. And we're trying to make it fun, okay? Numbers can be fun because numbers help you manage your business, knowing those numbers. And we have, recordings of all the events, the big ones on September 18th, where we're going to be talking about all sorts of things, dashboards and tools and ways to get that tracking in place. And then we're also having a masterclass to dive deeper into how to create your own financial dashboard. Very exciting. It really is exciting because I can't wait to build my financial dashboard with Michaela Kalichi, who's one of our Grand Connection members. And just join in. You can come to two events for free as a guest. And then also, if you want to join, only this summer, we have a promotion on. Summer 1 is the coupon. You can join for $1 for your first month and take part in all the events, get your listings up, connect with people in the hub, and create new ways to collaborate and find more visibility for your business. Get that influence out there, so that's what we're all about. So thank you very much, Julianne. Any last minute things to say on creativity for our folks listening?
I think just consider when you think about creativity, unplugging from what you're doing in your normal day-to-day activities, because that gives your heart and your soul an opportunity to create. So give yourself the gift of doing that.
Okay, so we're going to end the stream and unplug. But first, go to
Awesome.
Julie's link. Okay, thank you, everybody.